Welcome to Better Daily Life, where we are moving forward 1% better every single day. Download the app and supercharge your journey at betterdaily.life. Now it's time to ditch facts and get facts with your host and my dad, Alex Van Houten.
What is up, Betterment family? This is Alex Van Houten in Better Daily Live. Happy Monday. It is Mindset Monday. And on Mindset Monday, we set our mindset for a powerful and positive week of betterment. And this week's mindset is chew on it. I'm really excited to share this mindset with you. Good morning, KT. Thanks for joining us this morning. So, chew on it. I know it sounds like a nutrition tip Tuesday, but it is not. It is a Mindset Monday. And so I owe you some backstory. Now, Gabriel, our 7-year-old, has a chewing problem. Have you ever had a chewing like his mom used to bite her nails down to the quick, and just not like a nervous habit so much, just she's just always chewing on the nail thing. What's up, Leslie? Thanks for joining us this morning. And I used to chew too. I never chewed my nails. I would chew the sides, what I'm talking about, the sides of the finger skin right there. I don't think those are cuticles. I'm not really sure what to call those. I used to chew those. I'd chew pencils. When I was his age, I'd chew that sort of thing. And my mom, I was always chewing. Kristen was always chewing. I think she used to chew her hair too. I know. Now I'm really grossing you out. Sorry. Anyway, my mom, as when I was a kid, she found that if she got me these Live Strong bracelets, when I was a kid, they had the WWJD, What Would Jesus Do, Live Strong, that they were these rubbery bracelets that you could wear. And when you're in elementary school, you think that's really cool. But also if you have that, then you stop chewing your pencils and you stop chewing your water bottles and you stop chewing your fingers. You chew this thing instead. I'd be working on something and I'd take that off and chew that instead. And so that's where we're at with Gabriel, because he keeps coming home with his water bottles chewed up. And he's not a particularly anxious kid. It's not like he's concerned or getting, it's not an outward manifestation of anxiety at school. It's really just, he's a busy kid. And so when you ask him to sit still at school, sometimes if you could give him silly putty without him getting in trouble with it, he'd do that too. But instead he's chewing. So we got his bracelet to chew on. Why am I telling you this? Because to chew on it can mean quite a few different things. But there is a very interesting metaphor in the New Testament that Paul writes to the early Christians. And he talks about how in our maturity that we get off milk and get on meat. And what he means by that is there's some meaty things in life. There's some meaty things that life can teach you. Some things that require you to chew on it, to mindfully spend some time just really digging into it, really getting into what it means. I'll give you an example. So recently, I taught a Sunday school class, and we're going through the book of Genesis. We're talking about the Tower of Babel. We're talking about Noah's Ark. We're talking about Abraham and Isaac, and the old stories, the ones that don't take long to tell, but they're pretty deep. Good morning, Pat. Thanks for joining us this morning. They're pretty deep, and what's interesting about them is you can know the story, but as an adult, especially when you look back at these children's stories, they get pretty deep. So I was reading the Tower of Babel recently. In case you're unfamiliar with the Tower of Babel, it comes from Genesis 11. It's a story about when human beings think really highly of themselves, and so they build this big giant tower to the sky, and they're trying to build a tower that goes all the way to heaven so they can be like God. Well, in Genesis 11, God doesn't appreciate that very much, and so what he does is he strikes down the tower and makes everybody speak weird languages so that they can't understand each other. Or at least that's how the story goes. And the story, it's an interesting story. The kids are like, whoa, that's cool. And that's why we have so many languages and stuff. And so that they're happy with that. But when you really think about some of the ivory tower problems that we wrestle with on a regular basis, you start to feel kind of like you're in one of those higher higher rooms in the Tower of Babel. When you start chewing on this thing, when you start really thinking about why this story survived thousands of years and why it's worth being in the biblical corpus, and outside of being just a kid's story, what lessons it might teach us about living in a world where most of us have the food we would like to eat and a roof over our head, and we don't have to worry about getting eaten by a mountain lion while we sleep in our bed. And you look around at the world, and many of the things that people are arguing about are like made-up problems. There's a really interesting documentary floating around called What is a Woman? And, and again, I don't really care to get into this debate much, but it's weird that there's a group of people who, when they say the word woman, they mean a very different thing from what somebody else might mean when they say the word woman. And you start to see where being in these higher levels of the Tower of Babel, so to speak, makes our speech very watered down, almost like we can't have a conversation. Now, that's not necessarily true here in this community. Here in the Better Daily community, something that we're united under in one umbrella from many different walks of life, some of us from different faiths, some of us from different countries. One of the things that unites us is that we all want to be better. We all know that we're not perfect. We all know that there's room for improvement, and we all know that it's not just going to happen to us. We've got some work to do in mind, body, and spirit to move forward. And the mindset that I want you to have this week, or that I'm carrying into this week, and if you need a mindset, you can steal it from me, is to chew on it. There are some very deep, meaty things that you need to learn this week. And sometimes they come from areas of discontent, things that when they hit you, you go, that kind of bothers me. What is there to that? What can I learn from that? What can I take from that that will make me better? Now, there are a lot of different interpretations of what the Tower of Babel means, and whether or not I'm digging a hole where there isn't one is subject. But at the same time, things in life are like that. Let's say you set a goal, nutritionally speaking. We have the Faithful 40 Challenge coming up. We have a lot of people signed up for this challenge, and I'm very excited about it. If you're not signed up, get signed up. We've got just a few more days before we launch it. But there are people who are going to set out to do something. They're going to say, I'm going to walk every day for 40 days. I'm going to go for a walk every day. Or I'm going to lift weights 3 days a week, and I'm going to run 2 days a week, and I'm going to eat more protein. So they're going to set out to do this thing. And 3 days into the challenge, they're going to fail. They're not going to do the thing they said they were going to do. And some people go, well, I'll have a better day tomorrow. I'm going to try to have a better day tomorrow. Or, oh, that didn't work out. I'm going to try harder. And that's not going to work. It's just not. When you don't do what you say you're going to do, when you set out to do something and you fail, that is an opportunity to chew on it. That is an opportunity to say, what went wrong here? So I have a client, and he knows that he needs to do cardiovascular homework, walk jogs. He knows that that's a powerful and important part of his weight loss journey. He knows it works for him, not necessarily because it's burning calories, but because it seems to help him with blood sugar regulation and set his day up on the right foot. He knows that that is good and helpful to him. He also knows that when he wakes up first thing in the morning, that's the last thing he wants to go do. And so there are many times he's woken up on time and he didn't do his homework. He didn't do his walk jogs. Why? Well, he would tell you, I got stuck scrolling on Facebook and then I had to go to work. And, well, you could say, okay, tomorrow I'll try harder. Or you could say, why? Why don't I just wake up, put my shoes on, and go outside? Why do I head to the couch? Why do I sit down? Why do I pull my phone out? Why do I start scrolling and not stop? Why do I do those things? Well, chew on it. Ask yourself, what needs to change in order for you to make the changes you'd like to see? What are the meaty things in life? For this particular client, he and I talked through it quite a bit, and for him it really boiled down to whether or not he believed the goal he was working to achieve was actually possible. He's tried and failed many times in the past. This time is different, he says, and I agree. However, he was still acting as though he believed that it was not possible. So why try? Why stay consistent? Why does it matter? Why is this different? Why is this attempt toward betterment different? And he had to chew on that. That's an important question that he had to chew on, rather than continually saying, and don't do this, please don't do this. Don't say, I'll try harder. Don't do that. you won't try harder. You need to chew on it. You need to chew on it, and then after you've figured out, that's how meat works, you put a wad of steak in your mouth. If you like steak. If you don't like steak, that's fine. It could be sardines. Now you're really disgusted. Anyway, so you're chewing, and what happens when you chew is the food breaks down into digestible bits. And then your body can extract the nutrients from the food. And that's the same way it works with a story like the Tower of Babel, with a difficult behavioral change like I described with my client. That's how it works when you chew on something, when you take the time and energy and focus and attention to really address a meaty issue. It starts breaking down into digestible bits. So for my client, the one behavioral thing we did differently was as soon as you get out of bed, put your gym shorts on and put your shoes on. I don't care what you do after that. And what was cool is he didn't find himself in his socks walking to the living room. Instead, he found himself headed out the door because he's got his gym shoes on anyway. Might as well go for a run, right? Digestible bits. Chew on it, break down the issue into digestible bits, and then you can start to extract the things you need from it. Guys, thank you so much for joining me for Mindset Monday in Better Daily Live. Chew on it this week. Chew on those very difficult things, and I think you'll be surprised at how we can break it down into the 1% better and start making some progress. Until next time, guys, this has been Alex Van Houten in Better Daily Live. It's just 1%. You got this.
Thank you for joining us for your 1% better. Be you, just better, in mind, body, and spirit. Go to betterdaily.life, download our app, and check out our 5-star coaching resources. We all have a cross to carry. It's lighter when we do it together. Go to betterdaily.life today.